Alright, so today we're going to be reviewing three of Condor's best knives. We have the 11-inch Condor Golok. Been lightly used, but still in great condition. One of my personal favorites. We have the 16-inch Condor Golok. I haven't used this one very much, so I'm not too confident with it, but we'll see if we can change that. It does not stick. See, that's why I don't like this one. It doesn't stick. So I guess he's gonna stay sheathed for a minute. And then here we have Condor's two-handed machete. I love this thing. Practically, I'm not sure what you'd use this for necessarily, but we're going to put it through the same tests as the other machetes here. Also will not stick. We're going to have 25 hits on isolated pieces of this log here. This is dead wood, so it doesn't cut as easily for a blade. And once we're done 25 with each knife, we'll take a look at the damage. We're going to cut some live wood. We're going to cut some brush. Yeah, let's get into it. Starting off, we're going to be using the 11-inch Condor Golok. 25 hits. Right there. One more. Alright, that's 25 with the Condor Golok. That is very nice right there. I mean, we got, what is that? Maybe 3 inches of depth. I'm very satisfied with that. That's what I would expect it to do. Let's move on to the 16-inch Condor Golok. Alright, I'm going to do it right beside it. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man. There we go. Let me clear the chips a little bit here. Okay, so I kept this a little bit tighter just because that's how I use this blade. It just works a little bit better for me. The Golok, the 11-inch Golok, I get a wider, I just get a bigger chunk out of it. That's not bad. I'm impressed. Alright, let's move up to the two-handed. That's 27. Okay. I carried away there a little bit. So 27 hits. I don't know, maybe I get 2 more on all the other ones. See if I clear the chips away a little bit. So that didn't quite meet with the other two, but it is not quite designed for harder work like this. This is more of a weapon rather than a tool. Alright, so I think out of this we'd say probably the 11-inch Golok would have won, as it got the most depth and the most girth. Alright, let's step it up. We're going to move on to some different tests. And these are all factory edges, by the way, so they have very minimal use. They've been used a little bit, but not much. Just going to clear these off. We're going to take, let's say, 3 hits on this thicker section, and then just come on through these and just see how well it handles, see how my hand feels afterwards. I just cut that beautifully. There again. That's why I love this machete. Alright, so 3 hits with the 11-inch Golok. We'll see. 1, about halfway through. 2, 3. So 3. Come see this cut here, eh? You can see that is very clean cut. That is smooth to the touch. There's no fraying. There's no jagged bits. That's beautiful. I can just snap this off just like that. There's only about maybe a 1/4 inch, not even, left. Let me cut that off. Move up to the 16-inch. One, 2, 3. All right, so come in here. There's a little bit more raggedy edges where there really shouldn't be. It did go pretty deep, but I have almost a little over 1/2 inch there rather than only about a 1/4 inch. And given this is actually getting thinner, we're going up the tree, so it had less wood to go through and went through less proportionally. So, alright, I don't think I could break this with my hands. Yeah, that's still very strong. That'd probably take another 3 hits. Let's move on to the 17 inches? No, that's not 17 inches, 20 inches. The 2-handed Condor machete. All right. Let's stick right here. 3 hits. 1. Oh, that's very nice. 2. Oh, I think I'm going to go through it. 3. All right. So, very similar results with the 11-inch Golok, actually. Easily, just break that right off. Only about maybe less than 1/4 inch left there. This one does have a very drastic bevel, unlike the Golok. The Golok is very... I'll show you the 2 edges. So if you look down the bevel of this Golok, you'll see that it has very a very gradual bevel, very, very gradual, right? So, and it's also thinner, so it allows the blade to go deeper with less friction and cut through stuff just like butter. This one, on the other hand, it only takes about a 1/4 inch to get that grind. So as you see, it goes from maybe 1/8 of an inch to, or 3/16 to the edge right there, and only about a 1/4 of an inch. So much more drastic bevel on this. So you can't push the blade as far before the blade stops because there's so much friction, right? And there isn't the slice is too thin. Similar bevel actually on the 16-inch Condor. As on the two-handed machete. As you see, the bevel is also very, very slim, right? So still, these are very, very good machetes. Now maybe we'll come through on this next, see if we can hit through this on one hit, and on the smaller sections. Just one hit perpendicular to the wood. No angles, no angle advantage, nothing like that. Just straight on, see how deep they go. Start with the 11-inch again. Let's start about here. One hit, let's see. All right, let's look at that. Cut through it just like butter. I may have put a tiny bit of an angle on there, barely at all. No real advantage to it though. Very nice. Passed with flying colors. Let's look at the 16-inch. All right, I'm gonna cut right beside it. All right. A little bit of tang on the bottom here, just a little bit, barely at all, but also passed beautifully. All right, I have a feeling this will go through it. All right, so we can take a look at here. You can actually see it got smashed. So I came in on the top here and it compressed it. There was so much force, rather than it just slicing through, it smashed this. There's even cracking going on the sides here. So this one really just blunt forced its way through this. It did not slice through it as I would have hoped because of the very severe bevel, very drastic bevel. But hey, look, it cut through it. I don't have any complaints there. Let's just okay. So I cut maybe 3-4 of those. On the 5th one, maybe just by chance, but there's a good bit did not get cut there. All right, we're gonna go cut some brush and see how each individual blade does. All right, we're gonna start with my 11-inch Condor Golok. Maybe right around here. 5 hits, all right. All right, so that's 5. Unless I can't count, which is perfectly plausible. I did pretty well. It doesn't have a lot of hook to it, so it's not gonna hold that there while it's not gonna pull the item into its blade. It's not gonna trap whatever you're trying to slice, right? So if you have free hanging stuff, this isn't the best machete to do it with. You want something a little bit longer, a little bit thinner, and a little bit lighter. 16-inch. That's 5, huh? Told you I couldn't count. Alright, so that was 5. This does a little bit better. It just obviously has another 5 inches of blade, right? So it hooks a lot more, catches more material. So this one, I'd say so far is substantially better than the 11-inch Condor with the Golok. So these are both Goloks, by the way. One, obviously, they're just different lengths, and this has a different handle. But they're both Golok style, right? So, all right. We'll try this guy. You have about 20 inches of blade, so. There you go. Okay, that won that round very well. I can just feel it catching way more stuff. It still tears through it because I'm dealing with light stuff, right? So the edge, as well as just the momentum behind it, carries it through there very nicely. Caught a lot of material. This one certainly won that round. So in conclusion, this one is not so good at chopping. It can handle small stuff about up to 1.5 inches, 2 inches, but then it starts getting a little bit cumbersome. So there we go. But it's very good at slicing smaller stuff as in brush. Set that there. And it's a beautiful sheath. I quite like Kydex. It's got mole attachments here, moly, however you want to say that. You can put that on the back of my, I've put this on the back of my plate carrier. It stays on there very nicely. I come to the 11-inch Golok. It did beautifully. I personally have mine. I do a lot of heavy chopping with it. So it did beautifully with that. It did the best cutting into that dry wood. Cut the deepest, biggest chunks. It cut the sharpest, it cut the cleanest. As well as cutting through the small sapling, the thicker areas too. It did much better. But it did not do too well when we were trying to cut smaller stuff like hanging vines and stuff like that. It doesn't have enough blade length and it's a little bit too heavy for the job. Another thing, the handle on the 11-inch is perfect. It's absolutely my favorite. It fits my hand beautifully. It's the shape keeps it from slipping out of my hand. I've worked with this for hours and hours and hours. I've never got a blister. It fits tight. The handle is, as far as I'm concerned, is the best handle on any fixed blade machete I've ever used. It's beautiful. It's hardwood, South American hardwood. It's beautiful. It's extremely effective. Now coming to the 16-inch. This guy really came in right about the middle, right? He did everything with varying degrees, but with the 16-inch Golok, the handle, it gets a little bit annoying on your pinky there. It pulls a little bit, right? And then there's this very big knob. It's not unpleasant, you get used to it, but it's not. I think had they put this, the 11-inch handle onto the 16-inch, maybe expanded it just a little bit, but not quite this much. I understand they're probably going traditional here. That's probably what these looked like in South America, and I respect that. I think a lot in tradition. But had they made it just a little bit smaller, I think that would have been nice. The blade, it cut everything very well. It did better than the 11-inch cutting the vines and stuff, but struggled a little bit when it came to cutting the dry wood, the dead wood. But I think overall this did very, very well. So if you're going to be looking into buying one of these, and you're doing light chopping and a lot of light, hangy, flowy stuff, like whatever, a lot of leafy greens and vines, maybe you want the 16-inch. But if you're going to be doing heavier chopping, you know, you're going to have this as your belt knife, right? You're going camping, you want to split some wood with it, you're going to split some kindling, you're going to cut trees down, anything in your way, you just want it to get rid of it, right? I've had this for 4 years. Well, not this one, but I have the same model, right? I've had this one for about 4 years, 4.5 years. I've beat it to oblivion, and it continues to serve beautifully. So I think this is a great all-around one. Not so much for thin stuff that is just hanging there, because it doesn't have that claw, you know, it doesn't pull it toward itself. But if you're doing heavy work, the 11-inch Golok is very hard to beat. And then we come to the 20-inch two-handled. The handle on this thing's just beautiful. I really like it. I'm not even sure what they made out of. If you know what that is, I mean, drop a like in the drop a comment. Let me know what that is. I mean, it almost looks like some kind of a denim, but I don't think that's what that is. It's got maybe some stainless steel rivets in there, hollow, which is very, very, very aesthetically pleasing. The blade, it cut everything hanging very extraordinarily well. But in all honesty, I wouldn't recommend this unless you want this on your wall, or you know, you're preparing for hard times and you want to consider this as a weapon rather than a bushcrafting tool. It's not quite suited for that. So it's a beautiful knife. It passed all the tests, but it's a little bit more cumbersome. The handle doesn't fit very well on one hand. Obviously, it's for two hands, so that's not a problem. I can't judge it for what it's not made for. But hey, look, as some kind of a sword or weapon blade, this is great. I would take this over one of these any day, right? But if you're bushcrafting or camping or surviving, this is not the knife you want to go with. But it's still a great, beautiful knife. Honestly, anything from Condor, yeah, I highly recommend. I'm not sponsored by them in any way yet. Condor, if you hear this, I'm open. But the knives are fantastic. As I said, I've been carrying them for a long time, so I really know the knives. Yeah. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. Not too long. Made some sense. Maybe cleared up some things for you. And thanks for watching. Drop a like. Subscribe if you want more content like this, similar stuff. Any recommendations, questions you have, drop them in the comments. I read my comments, so I will answer questions.